Hello, 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 Red Raider fans, and welcome to another Red Raider contest. This is Gary McNeil along with
Keith Smith.
And we're bringing you the Big Walnut game. After the big blowout we ran up against last week, Keith, what can we look for this week?
Big Walnut was 9-2 last year. Got put out in the first round of the playoffs. They lost a lot of players from last year's team, but they got good senior leadership back, and 3-year starter Joel Brockman at quarterback, and the leading scorer from last year in the Central District, leading returning scorer, and Charlie Smith, who last week started out his season with just a mere six touchdowns against the Division I school in Walnut Ridge.
Right. That doesn't sound too good for us. We got, I guess our quarterback had a concussion last week. I was told he was cleared to play tonight, so don't hold me to that. We'll find out when the game starts. And we got a couple other starters who are out this week for various reasons. But anyway, we're looking for a good contest. We do have a new system we put in, and it's going to take a little while. I said last week, give them 8 quarters. So somebody's going to dispute that. So this is going to be the other 4 quarters. We are running up against a back that's better than either one of the backs that we run up against last week. And these people up here take their football serious, as you can tell by their complex. But in the meantime, I tell you what, you stick around, we're going to have fun up here anyway. Pretty good sized team there. Once again, London's kids are, now I want you over here. London's kids are more, a lot of youth there. So we're going to be dealing with a lot of youth.
Well, from looking over the rosters and stuff, Big Walnut's got lost a lot of kids last year to graduation, but some of their main starters on offense are back. Charlie Smith at tailback, Evan Circle at the other running back position, and their quarterback Joel Brockman's back.
So that's a big plus, and we only brought like 3 people back, I think. Oh, watch that window.
We've got also for Big Walnut, they're not a real big team. Probably one of the bigger kids you're going to see playing a lot tonight is, remember him a lot from last year, Joel Studline, 6'5", 254 senior. So he's being recruited by some major colleges. Also Brockman and Smith is definitely. Smith last year in the state was made to the state meet as a junior in both the 400 and the 200. So he's very fast, runs long legs, kind of runs like Robert Smith that used to play for the...
Got some speed there, huh?
Oh, he's got some speed, and he's just kind of a stand-up runner. So.
Well, we got who we got filling in running back position.
Well, 33 Wes Anderberg's going to get the start tonight. From what I understand, he's been working real hard in practice. He's fearless, from what I hear. Not afraid to just run up the gut and run hard and let the chips fall where they may. He last week didn't get a lot of playing time, so tonight's really his first big start for him, and he's a senior, I believe. So, you know, this is what it's all about. You know, some kids may not be big enough to play as a freshman or sophomore, and finally, by the time you get a chance to be a senior, it's time to step up and make the big plays. And for London to have any kind of success tonight at all, Anderberg's got to have a big game.
And that's basically what we're looking for, is a big game out of somebody. Somebody's going to have to step up. Like I say, a lot of these kids are awful young, even though they have grade time. Hardly any of them got that much playing time last year, much less being on a starting team. So it's a new team, and like I said before, I was going to give them 8 quarters, and I think we will surprise some people.
One other change tonight that's probably going to hurt London a little bit defensively. I guess number 10, Josh Dickens, not going to play defense. Remember last week he was out for 1 series, and they threw a 65-yard touchdown pass to Tristan Murray for New Carlisle. So they noticed that right away and took advantage of it. So whoever's filling in at safety tonight is going to have to really step up.
Yeah, I can see that. But I think overall we'll be okay. But when you come up here, for some reason, they're out for blood against London. They are really serious about their football when we come against London. So, and they went to the playoffs last year too.
Yeah, this rivalry goes back to when Big Walnut was in the old Central Buckeye League or Central Buckeye Conference, however you say it. They were in here. Now they've moved up the OCC. They're one of the bigger schools. They are a Division III, so they're one of the smaller schools in the OCC, but they do compete very well, and they're probably very close to going to Division II.
So we're getting ready for the big kickoff. London will receive.
like number 51, Matt Weed, 212-pound sophomore, going to be kicking off.
32 for London's back.
That's 33.
33, okay, Endenburg.
And Sean Myers.
And Sean Myers is back. Up close, we got Russell and 34.
DiFilippo. Hey, looks like Weed's got a pretty good kick. That's Endenburg back deep.
He's got a wall there. He's got a hole. He's got some room. He can go make some damage here. That's about the best thing we've seen for a while.
Well, before the game, I was talking to a parent. He says Endenburg's not afraid to just run up the gut and let the chips fall where they may.
And what you're going to see right there when you look back at that is almost a perfect setup there for the blocking was set up for return, and that boosts our morale right there. Let's hope it carries on into the rest of the game.
Got to be a big confidence boost for Endenburg. So 4 wide receiver set here. 3 to the bottom side of your screen and 1 to the top.
We've got Endenburg in the back position. Dickin, the quarterback this time. Myers in motion. Hand off to Endenburg. He's got a little room, and he's going to pick up about 5 yards. Endenburg's on the run there. Looking good. I don't have a pencil. I was going to try to keep the yards.
Gain of 4, second down and 6.
Gain of 4, second and 6. Carl, are we able to see the scoreboard when it's time?
I don't know. I forgot to check that.
I think you will.
This Wes Endenburg's 5'8", 155 pounds, so he's not afraid to go in there.
Got Myers coming to motion toward us now. Dickens keeps the ball, option to the left side. He'll pick up about 3 or 4 yards.
That's going to make it about 3rd and 4.
Dickens, I saw him this week, and his hand was swollen up almost twice the size of what a normal hand is.
His throwing hand, Gary?
Yeah. So he got it crushed last week, and then he had a slight concussion. I was told. So he's the leader of this team, so he's going to suck it up and do whatever he can. So we got line, same formation, wide out to this side, double. Endenburg, he's right there with Dickens in the backfield. Dickens coming to the right side, and he's brought down. And I guess Endenburg must have missed his block, where it sounds.
Well, we got the coaches up here. We'll try to filter out all the profanity as much as we can, Gary.
I don't think they're doing that. They get a little excited. They're clear on the other end, so that didn't come in too loud, did it? I don't think it did.
Well, it's like Sean Myers is going to take over punting duties for the Raiders in the absence of Jordan Brock.
So London's 3 and out.
Myers is the kicker. I don't believe I've ever seen him punt.
Roden and Smith deep for the Eagles.
That's a pretty decent punt. Myers is the kicker, so it's sure he's going to be a punter. And after about a 2-yard return, the ball ends up on about the 26, 27-yard line.
33 Wes Endenburg on tackle. He stuck him. He's playing with confidence tonight.
Bottom line is that a lot of these kids will just get a chance. You get a chance, you're going to be okay. I heard a lot of noise about that last play we ran, but I'm thinking the shortest way to that first down is straight up the middle, instead of trying to string it out around the end. So I don't really know what the situation was there, but whatever happened, it didn't work. And here comes
that's Charlie Smith over the right-hand side.
And Charlie don't go down easy, does he?
No.
He's picked up about 7 or 8 yards there.
Number 3, Aaron Roby on the tackle for the Raiders.
Smith, I guess, had, 6 touchdowns last week, and I think he got into Player of the Week stats in the dispatch.
190 yards rushing, 40 yards receiving, 6 touchdowns. I'd say a pretty fair night.
So he must be there everything.
That's a student body right there.
Not only was a student body right, we had looked like an antelope hurdling players. Charlie Smith is an all-purpose back there. And I found out the hard way, but let's give credit where credit's due. The team that's doing good, give them their dues. Instead of trying to find fault with what London's doing, we'll just look at the good part of the game.
Let's point out a couple new faces in there for London's. 99, Lance Dedden.
Smith's brought down by number 67.
I take that. That's Dustin Denon. Oh, I'm sorry, Lance's little
Gossard
brother.
on that tackle.
Looks like London's added a little bit of beef, and also at the starting safety tonight, Kyle
Enderberg and Gossard both was in on that tackle.
You're not going to see Big Walnut throw a lot.
Brings up second down and 8 for the Eagles.
They're going to run number 2 quite a bit, and number 11, Evan Circle. You'll see him get a lot of carries tonight. There's
Here
Charlie
comes
Smith
again. And he's stopped at the line of scrimmage after maybe a gain of a yard, maybe.
Charlie Smith.
So we're looking at
That was Pat O'Farrell there, a nice tackle, number 55.
For short yardage. Run down by
3rd and 7.
Third down and 7 for the Eagles.
Got a 3rd and 7 now.
Well, most high school teams, this is probably a passing situation, but
You don't think it is for us? Give it to Smith and let him go?
I put my money on that.
Well, they rolled out the throw.
Look
And
for the
it's
tight
complete.
end.
Right in the middle.
That's tight end number 44, Wes Potts, the senior on the catch.
It looked like London was in something like what I would call a zone defense back there. And too close call. And the zone just didn't shift.
Yeah, they sent number 13 deep on the left-hand side and took the corner and the safety with him, and then brought the tight end from the opposite side across the field. So it was a nice pattern.
1st and 10. And here comes Smith trying to do it again.
Charlie Smith, meet Dustin Denon right there.
Inside the 25.
That's 330 pounds versus about 190.
Brought down by Dean Malimbo.
Mr. Denon, he's a big boy. And so we're looking at 2nd and 7. And they're on about, what yard line are we on here? Can you read the yard line?
It's like about the 24. That's Charlie Smith going right.
Smith got plenty of blocking out there. He's turned the corner. He's not going to be denied.
That one's coming back, though, Gary.
Charlie Smith around his own
Nick DiFilippo was held in the backfield.
We got a flag there.
25-yard line.
I'll tell you what, for the Red Raiders, that's going to bring up, that's going to be a 15-yard penalty. DiFilippo. That's going to bring up quite a penalty there, and it's going to make it 3rd and long for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, they're going to mark off 5, 10 yards. As easy as they went in, that's not a whole lot of penalty, but I'd like to see them get about 25-yard penalty. This Smith is going to be a load for us today. We thought we had our hands full with Murray last week.
We'll bring up a 2nd down and 18.
Replay the down, 2nd and 18 for the Eagles.
Is the band coming in the press box?
Sounds like.
We got a roll out here. That's quarterback. He's going to keep it and cut back across the game.
Brockman's quick.
He's gone.
Myers has got him.
Myers, he
First
played
down.
the angle perfect.
Quarterback Joel Brockman brings the ball down. And
Joel Brockman. That's one of the quickest way to get some yardage is going against the grain.
Well, Brockman started as a sophomore, and last year he started the ball game against London. I think he lost his job during that ball game and just pretty much switched to defensive back. But I understand he is being recruited pretty heavily as defensive back.
Okay.
Good quarterback, though, too.
He did a pretty good job there. He rolled out like he's going to pass, and then boom.
That's Evan Circle, number 11, the big fullback.
Evan Circles is showing his wares too, as he did last week. He had an awful good week.
Yeah, last week he ran for 115 yards against Division I school Walnut Ridge, so that's primarily what you're going to see a lot from Big Walnut tonight.
So it's 2nd and 5, and they're on about the 10-yard line.
That's a ball control offense.
Quick handoff, quick up in the middle, and nothing doing. As Smith is brought down by a gaggle, a host of London tackle. 67.
It's like Gossard in there.
63. Duffy. I couldn't
Also,
get the other one.
77, Ty Blake, the sophomore, getting a lot of playing time in there at middle guard. Or
I need his help up there. I can't watch everybody. I haven't had a chance to watch the match yet. 3rd down and 3 for Big Walnut.
3rd and 3 for Big Walnut.
Charlie Smith headed right.
Charlie Smith, he's got room, and he's hard to bring down. He's trying to get in and get to go down about the 1 yard line, looks like.
Well, Aaron Roby made a touchdown saving tackle there. He's not very big, but he grabbed his legs and held on.
He did his job.
Here comes London Man into the stadium. Looks like Seth Ray's found his return.
Oh, London Man.
Spots the ball. 1st.
Yeah.
We'll have to catch him. He'll be down here in front of the camera here one of these days.
London Man, Seth Ray.
1st and goal. That's circle, touchdown. Big Walnut, Golden Eagles.
And with 5, it took a little bit longer this week than it did last. It's 5:24 left in the 1st quarter.
Here comes London
And
Man.
we have a score.
He's here. He's in the house.
With
Seth's
Big
even.
Walnut scores and makes the score 6-0 pending the extra point. We have a
Andy Stein will hold.
5:24.
By Matt Weed.
It's like Weed in for the extra point. He didn't miss any last week. He's got him another one.
And it's good, which makes the score 7-0 with 5:24 to go in the quarter.
Try is good with 5.
I like to say London 7. Big Walnut 7, London 0. There we have the scoreboard.
Report.
Okay, as Big Walnut gets set to kick off for the 2nd time, we got 5:24 to go in this quarter. They just scored.
Well, last time we saw some positive yardage from Annenberg on the return, so let's see if they kick away from him this time. I think they'd try to kick away from Myers all night, but we'll see.
They're going to keep it on the ground.
That's Annenberg.
Oh, and good catch by Hindenburg. He picked that ball up nice. Hindenburg's going to bring it back. He's coming at him now. He brings it up to about the 35.
33 Wes Anderberg returns the Big Walnut kick.
30.
Taylor.
About the 33-yard line. No, what's that, about 37?
The Red Raiders.
Well, the down markers on this side of the field. It makes it a
But
little
there's not enough of them. There's no
Spots the ball down.
40.
We run out at the 40, the 50, and the 60-yard line, Gary.
Yeah. So London lines up once again the same formation.
3 receivers at the bottom of your screen.
Yep.
Looks like Alcott at the top of your screen. Quick handoff to Annenberg.
And nothing
there.
doing. They were waiting on that. They diagnosed that from before the ball was even snapped. We took a loss of about 4 hours that time.
That's 265-pound junior Josh Bryant on the tackle there for the Golden Eagles.
For a loss by Hogan Bryant.
You'll notice a lot of a lot of Golden Eagles playing both ways. Charlie Smith's being recruited heavily as a defensive back. He's at one corner. Brockman's their safety. So.
Is he in relation to you, Charlie?
Nope.
Smith.
He's a lot more athletic than my family, I think.
I believe you.
He's got a brother that plays basketball at University of Dayton, Sam Smith.
Okay.
Nice catch by number 69 there for the Raiders. However, Wes Mason's not in the ball game though.
Yeah.
Corey Craig and Evan Circle.
It was about all Dickens could do was to get rid of the ball. He was
For the Red Raiders.
being chased down by 3 or 4 defenders.
That's going to bring up third and 12 for the Raiders. And when you're looking at with only 5 linemen up there, you got to get that pass off fairly quickly. If you decide to roll, that takes time, and your linemen got to hold their blocks just a little bit longer. And defensive ends are having a heyday getting to Dickin.
I'm sure they've scouted this offense. He's able to elude 1 tackle, and he brought it up to about the 40-yard line.
John Myers.
So it was 4th and 12.
Brought down by Joe
It was
Shaner.
3rd and 12.
3rd and 12, okay.
Going to bring up another punting situation for the Raiders.
4th and 8. They've only got 1 scoreboard, so we're kind of blocked off from this side. They got a window here, but they got the window back so far. The window should have been set up here close.
Well, watch the Red Raiders try to kick away from number 2, Charlie Smith.
Got a lot of hang
That's going
time
to be
there.
number 2, Smith. He's going to take it on the run.
And he's got down immediately by
That's
Dickin. And he's holding that hand.
By number 2, Charlie Smith.
I know he's your leader, he's your senior leader, and you want him out there, but I just sometimes don't understand your team captain and your man kind of hurt playing on special teams. It looks like he's got his bell rung again.
And I think he wants to be out there. That's
oh yeah.
Get somebody in here and knows
it's hard.
Come on, defense!
Yeah, it looks like they're lining up Denon and Blake on the front line. This time, that's another new twist to the defense.
Here comes Smith. He loses one. He gets by, and number 33.
That's Annenberg.
Annenberg's in on that tackle that time. After a gain of about 3 or 4 yards.
I tell you, Annenberg stepped up for this team.
Yeah.
He was relatively quiet in the first game, and he's a senior that hadn't really played a whole lot in his career, and he's really come around.
Well, he's giving the impression he wants to play.
Like another switch for the Red Raiders is Pat O'Farrell lining up at middle linebacker. He was at defensive line at the beginning of the first game.
Come on, Roby! He's running back!
And there goes Smith, and he's brought down finally by number 3. That's Roby. Roby got a hold of the leg and hung on for dear life.
Yeah, we got a hanky on the field.
Yep.
And that's probably
back in the holding area.
Brought down by Aaron Roby.
And they already know it. They're walking away. Big Walnut's taking the hike already. Clipping. That could be big.
Yeah, a lot of times that happens. The wide receiver will go downfield, faking like it's a pass, and then coming back to block on the run, he hits somebody in the back. So you got to watch that when you're a receiver. Very important for receivers to hold their blocks.
So I believe they marked off about 15 on that one. It's going to make it. That's a loss of down too, isn't it?
I think it's replayed down.
Takes the ball back to the Big Walnut 30. Second down and 15.
Second and 15.
Like London's going to gamble on one-on-one coverage out here on 84. Same pattern again. They brought the tight end, Wes Potts, down underneath on the pattern.
He was in on that play there too. Gillespie.
Well, it's the second time Big Walnut's run that play. And worked pretty good the first time, so why not try it again?
Well, London sniffed it out that time. Their players stayed where they were supposed to be. They weren't faked out. Gillespie made a good play. He also had help. I'm not sure if it was Myers or Roby. I think it was Myers was out there with him.
Should have been Myers on that corner.
I think it was Myers was out there with him.
Now Big Walnut's got trips to the bottom side of the screen here. I'd say it's just a fake to run Charlie Smith on the short side of the field. Bring all London's defenders over here.
Side. He came to this side though. And he did get on with number 34. Gossard. D. Filippo. And
Billy Gossard, 67 in there. I think maybe Big Walnut was setting up something for the future on that play right there. I mean, it was, you know, they were in about a 3rd and 15, obvious passing situation. And
you got a coach sees that, and everybody's moving to this side. As quick as Smith is, and we got him punting. This is a good sign. We didn't see how many punts we see last week from the opposite team.
I think 2, Gary.
Make a good catch. Good job.
It's Alcott. He's got some wheels. But he fumbled.
And we got it back. Got a break on that one.
Big Walnut punt was taken by Josh Alcott.
That was number 16, Darren Sanders, the junior, on the recovery.
16, Darren Sanders.
Good job by Sanders. Fundamentally, get on the football, cover it up. Don't try to pick it up and run. And don't be the hero. Just get the ball back.
Josh Alcott. Number 5.
That's Alcott.
He's a senior. No, Josh is only a sophomore.
A lot of sophomores on this Red Raider team. That's Dickens again.
You lose 1 or 2, but he draws the whole team.
You know, when you don't have a tight end on that side of the line and you try to roll that way, the defensive end is just standing right there in front of you.
I'm not sure he was trying to come this way when the play first started.
Well, the advantage Big Walnut's got here is the fact is that they've got a lot of confidence in their cornerbacks and their safety. They've got some veterans out there. They're taking one-on-one coverage. They're not dropping their linebackers back in the zone. They're playing the run. They're watching Dickens, and they're just eating him up.
Good call, Coach.
One-on-one coverage again out here. The safety's over there.
Good. That's a good way for Myers to knock it down.
Pass downfield intended for number 12, Sean Myers.
Well, that's exactly why they call number 4 Brockman the safety on the field. He's got to keep his eyes open, keep his head up, try to figure out where they're headed, and get over there to head it off.
He was definitely back there, and it could have been very easily been an interception.
Smart play, but when London only puts one man in the pattern going deep, it's pretty obvious where they're headed. Talking 3rd and 12 here for the Raiders. I think we only got 1 first down tonight so far, so it'll be nice to get one here. Circle on the blitz coming up the middle. Dickin rolls out. That's Gillespie. He's got it. He's going to be short of the first down by about 4 yards.
And that was 3rd and 12, so London's in another punting situation. Big Walnut's had good field position the whole game.
Gain on the play brings up a 4th down and 2 for London.
I didn't see any statistics last week on what Charlie Smith did returning punts against Walnut Ridge, but he had almost 250 all-purpose yards between receiving and running the ball. So I bet you
he's dangerous.
And he's the only man back this time. Oh, bad snap. That's Myers.
He gets it off.
It's a low kick. He's kicked it away from Smith. Good.
And it goes out of bounds on about the 30-yard line. So we did push him back a little ways. That's probably the deepest we've had him so far.
Yeah, it was about a 35-yard punt there, so not too bad for Sean. He kept his composure real good on the low snap. The normal snapper's not here tonight. He's another one of the players who's been temporarily removed from the team. So there was a new snapper in there. I didn't catch the number on him, but new to his position. He's trying hard, whoever it is.
Now we got a 1st and 10 on the 32-yard line. Big Walnut takes over again. We have a score of 7-0, and we've got 32 seconds left in.
They keep running this 2 tight end set here. Looking for that
quick look in. Oh man, that was a hit.
Ooh, that's a nice hit by. Looked like Matt. That's 33. Annenberg. He's playing with a lot of confidence tonight.
Hear that over here.
Annenberg's going after him, buddy.
Pass complete, number 13, Adam Williard.
It's a quick look in. That's a pass I look for. I would think would come out of our offense, but I haven't seen it that often.
Well, they've used Williard quite a bit as a.
And here goes Superman.
They used Williard quite a bit as a decoy, but they threw to him that last time.
Charlie Smith, and he had number 7-9 running right in front of him. 7-9 looks like a pretty good sized guy. And Smith picks up first down, so we got a 1st and 10.
Official indicates the end of the first quarter.
And we have an ending the first quarter, a score of 7-0. So we haven't done too bad so far. We have the first quarter score, 7-0. Well, the band are kind of scattered out down through there, so a lot more than I thought we'd have. The weather's turned out to be pretty decent. I tell you what, I was out this morning. I had to take a camera over to be worked on, and so I was in the north end of Columbus when all that storm come down. Water was. You almost had to swim back. The water was up to the up over the bumpers on the cars.
Let me get my boots out there, Gary. I don't know if it was up to the bumpers.
I'm telling you, it was open to the bumpers. People were pushing their cars trying to get out of it.
Was it water skiing, Gary?
Something was up to the bumpers.
I think they could have been water skiing. There's certain areas, it's like, you'd have to see stuff like that to believe. You see it on TV and you say, you know, be in it one time.
Well, we got 1st and 10 for the Golden Eagles. Smith going left, the wide side of the field. He's got lots of room with the fullback out in front of him. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
That's a touchdown, Smith.
Charlie Smith for the score.
About a 65-yard touchdown right there.
That ball was on this close hash mark over here. Wide receiver did a nice job down blocking. The tight end got turned and put the fullback out there in front of him. And when you give Charlie that kind of room, he's got the speed just to. He's only got to get by one man, and he burned him.
That puts the score up to 13-0. We're looking for an extra point now.
And he signed a hold for the point
And once again, I would still say give London 8 quarters, and they'll be in competition.
That makes Weed 9 for 9 for the year so far. So they got 7 of them the first week and 2 so far this week.
Big Walnut 14, London 0.
14-0. You got the scoreboard, okay. Got a good shot of London cheerleaders. They got a break tonight, no rain. Cleared up, and I think it's supposed to clear up by 7. I don't see too much bad skies right now.
I think it's a full moon tonight, Gary. So.
Might be the last time we was up here. We was like to froze our hands off. When the snow and wind and rain was blowing right in the window on us. You couldn't stand it in here. So London gets set, and I talked to the trainer. Still didn't get her name, but I want to get an interview with her here. Maybe at the home game be a lot easier.
Well, Gary, if it's any consolation, the Eagles had one brought back on them on a kickoff 91 yards last week by Walnut Ridge, so might be some weakness there.
Well, Hindenburg gave it a good try on the first kickoff.
Maybe if he keeps busting away at it, maybe he might bust one through here. So
either one of the boys back, either Hindenburg or Myers, is capable of doing it. Get the right block. But I've seen some speed coming out of that Big Walnut team.
Like they're kicking straight for Myers this time.
Myers took it good. He's going to be. He's got room. He's still up, and he just busted it out on a 30-yard line. Return of about 8-10. He brings it out to the 30. So London will take over 1st and 10. It's 11:42 to go in the second quarter. Score 14-0 in favor of Big Walnut.
30-yard line.
That looks like Big Walnut has taken number 2, Charlie Smith, out of playing defense. So he's just playing one way tonight. So now the Eagles are in some kind of zone defense, a 2-deep zone on the near side. They're real soft on the corner on the top side of your screen. If Dickens sees that.
They're waiting on him. There's nowhere for him to go. Once they get him pinned in back there, it's just a matter of scooping in on your prey.
You know, I mean, I say it again, when you roll out that direction, you don't have a tight end to seal that in the line. That defensive end is free reign to come on in. The only thing you might be able to do is fake him out or try to soften him up a little bit so he's not charging in so hard. He's putting his horns back or putting his ears back, as they say, and just coming hard.
Chips to this side. We're trying to get the play in.
See, now they bring the tight end Edley in a little bit tighter. Now that could give. Now you got a man covering the defensive end. Well, and they run the other way. Figure that.
Design play. I guess they bring Edley in to make it look like we're going to run this way. Little misdirection, maybe.
That's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for the Raiders. Well, maybe 3rd and 8.
Fake Keith.
Huh?
Fake Keith now.
Yeah.
So it worked.
But he'll tell us again in a minute that the tight end didn't do his job. Or he was out too far.
Edley did a nice job blocking his end line, but they didn't run that way. Last week I was talking about having 3 of the coaches signaling in. They're just one coach out there.
Yeah, I was looking over and
occasionally they do put another false signaler out there, but
I see it.
Is that a word signal?
London's going to get a formation penalty right here. Edley's up on the line, looks like. No, they're not going to call it.
Keep running, keep running.
Going deep for Gillespie. There's Charlie Smith back there.
And Charlie Smith was there nearly making the interception. I don't think you're going to outrun Charlie Smith.
Broken up by number 2.
Especially the 2-deep zone that they had on this side of the field with Charlie Smith starting 20 yards off the ball. He didn't even have to, I mean, he let Gillespie come to him.
Right.
So.
And Dickens did a good job just getting that pass off as well as he did. He had a lot of error in it, though.
At least that time they rolled the same direction as the tight end up on the line. So Edley did a nice job of keeping that defensive end off of Dickin, and that's what he needs is time to throw that football.
Myers gets a good spiral, but it's not going in down, and they just ran right by Smith. He's running wide. He's got room up the sideline.
Charlie Smith. Comes Kyle Thomas. He got
Kyle makes the big tackle.
Number 2, Charlie
But not till after Charlie picked up
down there is Red Raider 35.
out of close to a 30-yard return.
Man, we had him too.
He got the kid who was getting ready to make the tackle right there, got knocked off his feet just about the same time he went to make the tackle.
I'm not so sure that wasn't a block in the back either.
It was close.
The Raiders sending Denon into the game a little bit late here.
Yeah, he's there. He wasn't down. I don't see any flags yet.
That's a pitch to Smith. Ouch,
Smith
ouch,
still
ouch.
loose.
Number 3, Roby, finally able to get Smith to run out of bounds.
Push him out of bounds. I saw him still up. I'm saying, is he prancing around? Is he going to go in the end zone? What's going on?
Roby Aaron.
63, Josh Duffy checking in the ball game for Denon this time.
That's a long way for Denon to get out to the line.
London's having some substitution problems here. Now they're sending Edley in, and they're going to send Wallace out. So
yeah, they bought Wallace out. Got one wide out this time, but they hand off to Smith. Nope.
Somebody got a leg. Is that Gillespie? No, that's Annenberg. He's kind of carrying this team tonight.
Annenberg's doing his job. That's what he's in there for, and he's doing his job well. That's why once you get a chance to do it, show them, hey, I want to play. That's one thing I've used to push kids, tell them, I want your job, and then go out there and show them you can do it and take their job. So he may be bucking for somebody's starting place.
Well, 8:48 left to go in the second quarter here. They go back to their traditional 2 tight end set. That's circle up the middle.
Nothing done.
That's Pat O'Farrell from middle linebacker position.
Easy now.
O'Farrell, was he getting a little huffy out there?
Yeah, he's...
Pat O'Farrell and Matt Russell, and on the stop.
Yes, it's good to get a huffy to a degree.
About a 1 yard loss, and brings up 3rd and 11 here. Passing situation for the Eagles.
Will they pass? You said they don't pass.
Top of the screen, 84, Josh Becker. He was a leading receiver from last year. They're going for Becker. That's Brockman going to run the ball. He's going to be short.
And it looks like London holds, and we'll take over on downs.
No, it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, that was only 3rd.
It's like the field goal team led by Matt Weed heading into the ball game. He hits his extra points pretty good, but I don't see him put a whole lot of extra leg into it.
Where's the ball at? Ball's on about the 11-yard line.
Number 42, Matt Mahoney, will hold for the attempted field goal by Matt Weed.
It's going to be a 28-yard attempt by Weed. Look for the fake here. He boots it short, but it's in.
It was strong.
It was low, but
It wasn't short, but it was long. It was low and long.
Well, I meant to say low.
You didn't say low.
Unofficially, 25-yard field goal.
I tell you what, Weed did a nice job. Holder did a nice job getting the ball down.
So he had an extra 10 yards on that kick.
Oh, yeah.
London 0.
So now we got looking at 17-0 with 7:24. You got that, Carl?
Yeah.
17-0 with 7:24 to go in the first half. I predicted it would be a bigger score than last year, but just from looking at the two teams that we play against, and this Charlie Smith is just as good or better than either one of the backs we went against last week.
Well, when you look at sheerly the numbers, I mean, Charlie Smith is definitely the top returning running back in Central Ohio. He was All-State last year, Division III, and he's looking like he's putting those kind of numbers again this year.
Matt Russell and Sean Myers back deeply.
Last year on the way to Licking Valley, I had them run an errand through Delaware, and I came up here through Sunbury just in time for their homecoming parade. And I'll tell you what, this town goes crazy over football. They really do take it serious.
Well, you're from up in this area, aren't you?
Originally from in Delaware County.
Aren't you a hill climber?
No, that's
Yes, you are.
Urbana, man.
You're a hillbilly. Hold on to that ball.
That number 88, David Stewart. He's a junior, so he probably first time in his life he's ever carried the ball in a varsity football game. Did a nice job.
Yeah, good job hanging on to the ball.
Short man's just got to grab it and get as much straight yardage out of it as he can. Nothing fancy.
So we're going to kick over at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10. 7:19 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, Big Walnut's defense has held London to 1 first down so far. Probably under 20 yards total offense. So London really needs to get something underground here. 34, Nick DiFilippo's checked in at the tailback position. So we do have some fresh jerseys in there for London. Going to give Annenberg a little breather. Myers on the short side.
This DiFilippo, he's a pretty strong kid. He's not a small kid either. Myers goes Dickens goes right up the middle.
Well, they must have saw something there, because normally number 11 Circle's got that middle blocked up pretty good.
Dickens just went off the tail of the, looked like right off the tail into the center, right side of him. Made something happen. So we got a 1st and 10 on that. That's a good bright spot for us. I'd like to see a score before the half. Be nice to go in about 17-7. There's a lot of time left in this half.
Fake to DiFilippo. That's Dickens running up the middle again.
He's the workhorse. He's going to do it. He got good for another 1st down. So there's 20 yards.
Nice tackle there by Joel Shaner, a 2-year Letterman senior.
2 10-yard carries. There's 20 yards for Dickens right off the bat. Like you say, they've seen something up the middle. Somebody's moving somebody.
Oh, we almost got to say 1st down, Gary, but
it is 1st down.
Nope, it'll be 2nd and 1.
Oh, I thought they were moving the chains. Wow, we got ripped on that. That ball was farther up than that. Keep it going, gang.
They're going to throw it.
He airs it out. He's held. And that's good call. Good call. Good call. Don't even talk to him. He's got his hands up like, what did I do? What I don't like about the call like that is I think the ball ought to go where it happened. Yeah. It's very, very possible the kid would have caught the ball, and that's where we would have been with the ball. But it just goes back to...
That's a 15-yard penalty, but that is going to give London a 1st down again. And
which is the bright side.
London's got to look for those small baby steps right now. It's a very young team. They just got to find some positive things and just try to build on that.
Against Big Walnut.
And Myers was open.
He had a good call. It was a good play.
Nice call by the offense. Good throw by Dickens.
Heavy duty, the official there, he's marked it off real quick there. Get a good shot of that official there, Carl. He's no small guy.
He's supersized, I think.
So it's 1st and 10 on the 23-yard line. This is the deepest we've been in their territory so far. I'm wanting to score in this quarter, guys.
Well, London's had a lot of success with Dickens running the ball here. Let's just see if they continue running up the gut again.
You get some kind of signal to them. They got a 1st down out of it, and that's what we wanted. No, we already had the 1st down.
Already had.
Makes it 2nd and about 7. 7 or 6.
2nd and 6.
So we still got over 5 minutes, just under 6 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Nice job in there by John Lewis and Tyler Scott in the interior line. Dickens been running right behind them.
Like I say, those guys aren't that big, but they're showing up so far tonight.
Well, Big Walnut's not got the hugest defensive line in the world, so maybe this is a good plan by London. Try to take advantage of some small defensive tackles. That's DiFilippo.
And he's looking for his 1st touchdown, and he's close to it. No, where's he at? 10. He's on about the 8-yard line. And move the chains. That's a big plus. DiFilippo, I look for him to be a horse before he gets out of high school.
First and goal from the 8 for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, Well, he's a big back, 6'2", 210-pound sophomore. So
I watched him in basketball the last 2 years, and I was surprised he didn't move up in basketball last year, especially at the end of the year. But anyway, he just did his job there, and they're leaving him in, giving Enberg a break.
That's 4 first downs for the Raiders on this drive.
Yeah.
So Dickin up the middle.
Looking, and there's nothing doing this time.
Quarterback Josh Dickin on the carry.
Josh Dickin on the carry, and he's knocked down for about,
12, Corey Craig.
let's see, about a 2-yard loss that time. 2nd and 10.
Well, a little insight here. London coaches are calling for a right option to run to the right side of the field.
Yeah, they said there was nothing on this side.
Well, they're saying it's open, but, you know.
Loss of 2 on the play brings up a 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line.
I'd like to see somebody come and just cut right across the middle and pick up a nice quick hit for the pass.
Dickin looking for Adley on the loop pass.
Adley was up, but he wasn't. He was defended very well by number 29.
That's Brad Roden, a sophomore out there, 155 pounds, 5'8".
Yeah. Well, they figured that Adley's height, what is he, about 6'2"?
Taller than that, I believe.
And he does jump pretty decent. They figured they'd lay it up there, be like a basketball play, and just out jump him, but he just didn't quite get there in time.
3rd and 10, big play here from the.
It's a big play for London.
London can't get a first down without getting a touchdown. That's Dickin going to run left. Pitch. Filippo's got room.
He's going to be run out of bounds before he gets in.
That could be a first down, though, Gary.
Filippo wants a touchdown. Yes, touchdown, London. Well, I called for it, and we got it. Thank you. What a show. London's looking like they're playing. I told you, I don't know. I still say 8 quarters, and we're going to show up and fool a lot of people. We haven't won anything yet, but this is a big morale booster here. Got our first touchdown for the season. Makes it 17-6. We are in the 2nd quarter against Big Walnut. We're down to the 4-minute mark in the 2nd quarter.
Got a new
Myers.
New holder here for the Raiders.
Matt Russell.
This is Matt Russell.
This is a concentration thing. Get it down, Matt. Good job. It's up, and we score. Which makes the score 7-17. London's down by 10, going 5 minutes to go. 4 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter.
Actually, London's regular snapper and their regular holder both relieved of duty this week, and really Matt Russell did an excellent job. You don't see too many linebackers that are holding snaps, but nice set of hands, got the ball down, and set it up there real nice for Sean Myers.
I tell you, you can say what you want, but I think we got a decent. Oh, sleeping on that. I'm talking about we had a decent, or coming this far. Last time we came up here was like 0 weather, but it's not that bad. I say it's a pretty decent turnout for what we've been having. And I just beg you people, urge you people to get out and get behind these kids. They can't win it all by themselves. You'd be surprised how much the fan base makes in a winning team, or in a win. So get out here and support these kids. It's not that much. We've got that big new stadium there in London, and it's just sitting there waiting for you. There's a seat there for you. You got your name on it. So come on out and enjoy these kids next week. London's kicking off for the first time tonight. Myers gets a foot into it, and the ball's taken at about the 11-yard line. He's hit hard by let me get a number here.
51, Kyle Thomas.
Kyle Thomas, and he had a little help. And number 80, Joe Smith. Joe Smith, I thought he graduated. Joe's getting in on things out there. Joe's not a little guy. So they take over for 1st and 10 on about the 30-yard line. The Raiders got to tighten up now. 17-7 is the score in favor of Big Walnut. Pitch out to Smith. And now he's just walking down through there.
Matt Russell dragging on him for about 10 yards there. Charlie's strong, man.
I was getting ready to say Smith, once he got the strength of that kid we had last week, talking about he could lift 400 pounds. Deadlift, I think.
As Tristan Murray, he's a big lifter, but I'll tell you what, I think I like this Charlie Smith a lot better. Both of them are good backs. But of course, different situations, different blockers. You know, Big Walnut's got Brockman back pass. That's a tight end. He drops another one.
Caught and dropped.
Joe Brockman's intended pass downfield for number 44.
So there we go. London's holding so far. Makes it 2nd and 10. We got to contain Smith. I've seen one thing that you may not agree with, but Edley didn't look like he got across in time to contain. And they just went around him like he wasn't there. We need that quickness on that end spot.
I think the Eagles caught the Raiders by surprise there with a pass on 1st and 10. That's uncharacteristic of them. So Brockman on the option to the left. Oh, Gossard did a nice job right there on the tackle.
I just made a comment about Edley, and it's like they're just walking right by him. I don't know if he's actually going to get down in there and make the tackle, or whether he's been, can't tell from here whether he's been pushed out of the way or what.
Well, Big Walnut's line's not all that big on offense. I mean, no 300-pounders, but some good 260s and 270-pound kids. So, and they run a 2 tight end set. So
we got a 3rd and 6 here.
They got 7 guys up front against London's 5. Brockman back to pass again.
He's going to keep it. They had material there for a minute, and he loses about 3 runners and picks up an extra couple yards and gets a 1st down out of it.
Oh, he's slippery, isn't he?
Yeah, that was a good move there. Somebody had a hold of his jersey, but they couldn't hold on to it.
Well, they got this Brockman listed at 6 foot 170. That'd be putting him standing on a soapbox and all soaking wet, I think.
Yeah, he's a little guy. Their center's small. Get a shot of that center across. He's not very big. And most centers I see got some pretty good decent size to them.
Brandon Hicks, a senior, 5'10", 194. So yeah, they're not that big across the offensive front. Yeah, and they're calling
coach. Yeah. They were screaming sweep, and ball went right straight up the middle.
Yeah, London coaches thought they'd recognized the tendency of Big Walnut when they put circle in motion that they're going to run Smith on a sweep each time. And that time Charlie just busted up the gut, and he showed you he's an inside runner, he's an outside runner. He just follows his blockers.
So we're down under 3 minutes now, and
What was that last score?
1st and 10.
Under tag.
17-7. London did score, which is a good thing. And we got a wide out far from us. To the left, pitch out. Here comes the sweep.
Student body left.
And he's going to waltz right in.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Big Walnut. Charlie Smith once again.
Charlie Smith on the carry for the score.
Well, you might notice the London coach is a little upset because what they're trying to do is get the defensive end or the linebacker to get outside of the man and try to get him to turn back in.
Basically, that's what I said a while ago was Edley's not getting across and containing, and they're picking that up. So once they get somebody outside of him, they shove him in and go around.
There comes Weed on again, going for his 3rd extra point of the night.
Score now is 23-7. We still have 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Weed remains perfect on the year with 11 or 10 extra points.
Get it right now.
10 extra points and 1 field goal.
So we're looking at a score of 24-7, and we have a 2-minute warning now. We're winding down the first half. I'd like to see London do something really extraordinary, get a really good kickoff return, and possible another touchdown.
Well, I think London needs to be real proud of themselves in this first half. I know it's 24-7, but they've got to find little positive things they can build on. And the nice drive, the run by DiFilippo, the passes.
We've got to get a little bit more strength on that on the right end on defense. It's not either. I don't know if they're not making the tackles or not getting across containing. And if they can't do the job, whoever it may be, let's put somebody in there to will maybe do the job. But that right side has been our downfall in almost every touchdown.
Hey, Coach. Let's come out like we have to start going a little more over because get out of our ankles and just let's come out and go over.
Anderberg and Myers back deep for London.
Well, after they kicked off the first 2 times to Anderberg, they've been kicking to Myers now. So low kick toward Myers' side. That's Matt Russell. He's bringing it upfield.
He ain't afraid to run.
Fumbled.
And it's out of bounds. I was scared of that, but we got a break. The ball went out of bounds.
Well, we talked about that on the last return when it was picked up by David Stewart, of how Stewart did a nice job just grabbing the ball, running upfield, and holding on to it. And that's real important from your upbacks. Can't have them dropping that football.
That happens. They're high school kids. A lot of people don't realize that. We got to remember these are high school kids, and I see the pros. I watch the Bengals do more bungle stuff than that. So I'm proud of these kids. They got to just stick with it and believe in themselves, get the job done.
Now we got Annenberg back in at tailback for the Raiders. Looks like him and DeFilippo are going to switch off a little bit.
Time to time. Might want to figure out a way to get him and DeFilippo in there a little more often with both of them in there together.
Sticking to the right on the option to Annenberg.
There's nothing, and we got his flag.
I think they're going to call late hit on number 88 of Big Walnut on the big hit on Dickin, but
they may call it late hit. Now I didn't see it being a late hit.
No, they're going to call hold on the Raiders.
That's usually what it is. There's a double flag there. They're really airing out their laundry.
Yeah. Well, 147 left to go in the second half. Red Raiders need to see if they can at least get another positive going for them, get some yardage here, maybe at least get down to possibly maybe set up for a Myers field goal.
So it's 1st and 15 now. Ball's on about the 35-yard line. And we have 1:47 to go in the half, and we've got whistles everywhere.
I don't think London was in the proper formation. They'd stop that. Maybe another 5 yards.
That's a pretty sky.
Well, it's going to be second down.
Big Walnut declined the penalty. Second down 15.
2nd and 15 after the penalty decline. He was done good enough to get that ball out of bounds, got enough arm on it because he was under wraps. I'm wondering if you're under wraps, is it illegal, pass?
I think that's only in the pros where they have the in the grass rule. I'm a little curious about that last call. London had the holding on first down, so they should have got the repeat first down. And then they had the 5-yard, they got in the wrong formation. Big Walnut declined the penalty. London didn't get a chance to run the play, and then all once it was second down. So now it's third down. A phantom down there as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it must be okay because I didn't hear any coaches fussing about it.
Yeah. Dickin rolls to his left.
He rolls left, he's looking long.
Looking for Gillespie. Nice catch. He's a little bit short of the first down.
We made the yard markers drop him, didn't we?
Josh Dickens pass complete to Kyle Gillespie.
I'll tell you what, that's 4th and 1 for the Raiders, and with 1:13 left to go in the half, I think I'd go for it.
Gillespie did a good job of coming back for the ball. With the speed and the offense that Big Walnut's running, it doesn't matter if we put them on the 30 or the whatever, they're going to get. They got the breakaway speed to come back and score. So we're going to keep holding to the ball as much as we can, keep our defense off the field as much as we can. 4th and 2. But we're right at the 50-yard line. 49 one side and 51 the other side.
Coming down on the end of the half, like I said, I think you'd want to try to get a touchdown, but yeah, you're right here. Strategy-wise, pretty important for the Red Raiders to just pick up the first down and keep keep the Big Walnut offense off the field.
And a lot of times what you just said is makes a lot of sense, but it's easy, a lot of times it's easier said than done, because they're going to come up with a goal line stance there, even though they're at midfield. So everybody has to do their job and do it right and make it work.
Yeah, London's sending in an interesting offensive set here. We're going to have Matt Russell going to be the tailback now, which he normally just comes in the in what we call the Buffalo package, but he doesn't have a tailback with him. So
well, we'll just check it out and see what's going on. Let it develop. They're cramming up the line there.
I'd look for Matt Russell to be a lead blocker for a dick and run here. But
see how they're cramming up there, 4-3.
I've been wrong before, though.
Most of the time. I had to say that.
There's the lead block.
And that's it. That's my play. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Goes straight up the field.
Well, 105 left.
Carl's been awful quiet. Carl, you okay? He wouldn't give me a drink of his water. I don't understand that.
Maybe get rid of some water.
He's down there fighting off the coaches, I think.
We had some very interesting conversations coming up here.
We don't want to talk about those here. Dickin throws.
And it's good. And we got a flag down.
Nice catch by Gillespie. That's going to be a hold on the Raiders. But unfortunately, that one's coming back.
We got the clock down to 48 seconds.
Flag down near the line of scrimmage.
Whether we score or not, let's just keep the ball to the end of the half. If we got the ball, they can't score. What do you think? You agree with that?
Definitely.
I can't believe you went silent. That's the first time you've shut up all night. You agree with me, Carl?
I was zoning out for a second.
Carl's ears was burning over there. Where you at?
Five, 10 yards.
Oh, I counted to 10, Carl. We got it. Holding gets the Red Raiders. Very good. We didn't come here to be sad. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
24-7. Favor of Big Walnut, and we are in the second quarter. 48 seconds left.
1st and 20 for the Raiders. Pass formation. That's Alcott on the outside.
Alcott, good catch. And he's back up to the original line of scrimmage.
Oh, he picked up about 11 yards there, Gary. That was a nice catch by Alcott. I believe that's his first reception on the year.
And look how big he is. What kind of weight we got with Alcott? He don't look very big. What is he to Jerry Alcott?
No, relative, I think.
Okay, I know Jerry from way back.
Dickin rolls to his right. That's Gillespie out there. Another nice catch.
Hit hard by Smith, but not until after pretty close to a first down.
Yeah, Alcott's 5'6", 140-pound sophomore.
We're still looking at 11 seconds.
Kyle Gillespie's done a nice job tonight of coming back to the football. It's so important in a receiver you just don't want to stand there and wait for it. Charlie Smith would have stepped up in front.
You got to force Charlie back. And by him forcing Charlie back, then he's turn and come back to the ball, which is a normal pass route for a good receiver. I would imagine that is probably the pass route, is go out there and force your defender back and turn and come back to the ball. Because you're not going to outrun Charlie Smith.
It's like Carl found him some cheerleaders.
These cheerleaders are to be commended. I mean, they're having a good time right now, but when that weather gets down to that wind gets to biting you.
It's a good time when it's warm, but they really got to.
It takes a lot of guts to get out there and do that, especially when people don't respond to. I remember one year we had a situation where all the fans would cheer. Somebody'd run down the thing and with a flag. Got a nice horn down there in the stand. Somebody's car is missing a horn. Fan. So we're down to 11 seconds and 24-7. London on the charge. I don't think they got enough time.
An extra long time out there by the Raiders.
I got a bad feeling about this play here.
Handenberg's back in.
Let's see how this develops. We got doubles on this side.
11 seconds left. Dickon
London's coming
rolls.
to this side.
Annenberg does a nice job blocking.
And a little short, but it gives us another play.
Pass intended for number 5.
That'll be make it 2nd and 10 with 6 seconds to go. So we were able to keep the ball
Defensively for the
and run out the half.
incomplete pass.
Just something.
2nd and 10.
Well, Dickon rolling to his left in that situation. He's got to do his best to get his shoulders squared up to throw. It's just hard to put some zip on the ball like that. It takes a good athlete to be able to make a throw like that.
He's done a good job so far. I think he can do it. Okay.
Look for him to go to Myers here. He's their big play man.
You know, we're
He's in
running
the
the clock out.
slot on the bottom of your
I'm
screen.
looking for trouble. Good stiff arm to get the ball off. He puts it up
That's
for
a jump ball for Edley. Oh,
and the clock runs out.
kind of a jump ball there for Edley and Myers. So
Pass downfield incomplete.
And so as we end this quarter,
First half, Big
the
Walnut
score is 24 Big Walnut, London 7. As we get the team running off the field, we'll give you a wrap up here. So we have to swing around and get the scoreboard that way. So we're looking at a score of 24-7. London was able to hold the ball for the last minute and a half or so. So therefore, it's halftime, and we're not going to be able to do the band because they're going to be facing the other way. So we'll get a break here, Carl. We got some fog out there, and fog on the camera. I didn't give Carl a chance to.
That was a shine off your forehead.
I didn't give him a chance to right balance it. Are you ready to go? That's why I wear this hat. Yeah, I know. I got it on.
Just ready.
Yeah. So anyway, before we get started here, I want you to know we didn't get a picture of it, but Keith went down and hustled a chicken sandwich and come back here and gobbled it up before he got up here, and then went back and told the folks he dropped it, and they gave him 2 hot dogs. Now, if that ain't a hustler, I don't know what a hustler is. But anyway, Keith, give us some stats.
Gary, what happened to those rain boots we had earlier?
That's deep, isn't it?
It's deep. I did. I fell down walking up the steps, embarrassed myself completely, dropped my chicken sandwich, and it was the last one they had. They felt sorry for me and gave me a couple of free hot dogs.
Sounds like a chicken store to me, don't it? What do you think?
Anyway, I got some stats here from Dr. Byers, who keeps stats for the high school team. First half for London, 5 first downs, 48 rushing, 50 yards passing. Big Walnut in the first half, 11 first downs, 230 yards rushing, 22 yards passing. Charlie Smith, number 2, went for 53 yards in the first quarter, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. So
Charlie Smith is kind of dominating the situation out there, but one good positive we have there is London scored in the second quarter, which gives them their first touchdown for the season. And so I'm hoping that's one of many. And like I said, I was giving them 8 quarters before you see them really show up. So let's check it out and we'll see what's going on. Carl, that's not losing focus and gaining focus, is it?
somebody's been down there working with the officials all night in a plain gray t-shirt. I'm not sure if he's from London. He was around London's kids when they was warming up, so maybe he might be maybe a league official of the officials or something.
Well, he's got enough bags on him. He's got, what, he got 3 or 4 bags on him.
I think it's his coat tied around his waist, Gary.
Oh, okay. Money man, huh? The money man. Paying off the officials.
Hey, Gary's eyesight's about to leave him.
Well, now take a look. Zoom in on that now, Carl. Let's see what they looks like. You know those saddlebags you wear that carry money in?
It's like a coat to me, Gary.
That kind of goes with what you was talking about on the way up.
Oh, Lord. I thought we wasn't going to get into that. It's a pretty interesting conversation.
That's ugly.
Oh, we did find out the name of the trainer, and drum roll, please. Da-da-da-dum.
Very good. Jill Traven graduated in '95, and we're going to definitely want to get a interview with her because it's nice to see somebody who comes out of our system come back and give. And one reason I say that is because you can come here and come out of our system and go into the profession of like coaching or teaching and stuff like that. But London doesn't pay the money that the bucks at the city systems pay. So you can just about bet that somebody who comes back to London and toughs it out are here for more than one reason. It's not just the money. They're here because they want to do something for the city of London and for the kids of London. So that tells me that they're probably going to try their best to do a good job. And from everything I've heard about her, she is right on top of her game. So congratulations, Jill. And first chance I get, we'll get to let the people see who you are and what you're all about. So having said that, we're looking at London's team down there in the huddle as Big Walnut breaks. The clock says play, the officials say play, so I guess we're going to play. The weather held up. We've got to be thankful for that. Thank the man up above for that, for giving us good weather. Although this morning I was not fibbing, water was up over the bumpers of cars in the north end of Columbus, up around Bartha Visuals. People were out pushing their cars through that stuff. It was something else. You have to see something like that to really realize and believe. You know, you see it on TV about these flash floods, these little creeks rising up and people losing their lives and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that on TV tonight, that somebody lost their life in today and that stuff.
A couple days ago, somebody was telling me that the water down at the intersection by Dr. Matt Kelly's office got up almost to the door of Dr. Marcus's office. Well, it was about 3 feet deep. And that might have even been this morning, actually.
And if you watch the news, I think Route 40 was closed off last night from over towards Springfield. They shut down Route 40 because the water was so bad you couldn't get through.
Well, the Red Raiders are going to be kicking off here to start the second half. It's like Myers will be kicking off and probably Charlie Smith back deep.
They've only got a 6-lane track there.
Your fingers are working, Gary.
Now you count them. How many you see?
Justin Stanley.
Looks like 6, Gary.
Okay.
Back deep for Big Walnut.
You sure it ain't 7.
Brad Roden
good
back.
kick. It's going to take them down to about the 18-yard line. And Charlie, that's not Charlie.
That's Matt Russell, 31 on the tackle for the Raiders.
And following up on the tackle was number 5, Josh Alcott. I'm trying to figure out what relation he is to Jerry Alcott. Jerry Alcott and I were pretty good friends growing up. I'm just a tad older than he is, but Jerry has done very well for himself. Proud of him.
I'd look for Big Walnut to do a lot of the same that we saw in the first half. Ball control offense, a lot of grounding and out. And Rockman throws a pass right off the bat.
And that's not ball control offense, so you just got your theory shot in the foot right off the bat. See, every time you open your mouth.
That's the first completion of the night to 84 Joel Becker, who's their leading receiver last year.
So it's 2nd and 3. It was a complete pass, so I guess it was controlled. Picked up 7 yards on that key.
It's like London's going back to their bigger package in the interior defensive line with Denton.
A lot of moving there. London was not lined up ready for that play. So Charlie Smith picks up another couple yards and goes for a first down. London was still moving when the ball was snapped, trying to get in the lineup.
First down and 10 for Big Walnut.
When London lines up on defense, they predicated on whether wide side or short side of the field where the defensive tackles line up. And they just got a little confused there when the ball was in the middle of the field.
So it's 1st and 10. The score is 24-7. We are in the 3rd quarter. Big Walnut with the ball. We have the same color.
That's Derek Wallace on a nice tackle there, coming back from his defensive tackle position. Gary, we was talking at halftime. You know, the idea for London is, you know, they've got to play a little bit wider at the outside linebacker position and try to turn Smith back in to the rest of the flow of the defense running the ball instead of allowing him to get to the outside.
And what I seen there was I seen some soft hitting. I seen some kids that might need to just put their head down and just run over somebody and tear somebody up. Let's let them know we're here. Quarterback keeper option there. And he's finally brought down by number 23. It's Gillespie. Kyle Gillespie makes that tackle.
Well, you notice that time, much better job on defense by Brandon Edley as he's 84 on that side of the line. He pinched in, got the quarterback to commit and ran right into the flow of the defense. So still a first down for the Eagles.
24-7, first and 10 for the Eagles.
Fumble. Incomplete pass, actually.
We come close to getting a break there.
Like Brockman he was looking for Josh Becker out there, but
the ball looked like it slipped out of his hand. I don't think it was tipped or anything, or quarterback was hit. He may have been brushed, but not very much. But anyway, it's a loss of about a yard. They put it right back up the original line of scrimmage.
It was incomplete pass, so shouldn't have lost anything anyway.
That's right.
Charlie Smith.
Charlie Smith is finally taken down. That's one of the shortest gains he's had so far tonight.
Well, you got to give Anderberg credit there again. He grabs a leg and he holds on. I mean, you got to grab and hold. You can't just
get material, get leg, get something, hold on.
Gain on the play brings up 3rd down and 6.
3rd and 6, so he picked up 4 yards before he was brought down. 3rd and 6 with 24-7 being the score. 3rd quarter, 9:26.
a little different set this time. Brockman loses it.
London may have got this from here.
Maybe Matt
We
Russell.
needed that. All right, good job. Who was that now?
Looks like Billy Gossard. 67, Billy Gossard.
Billy Gossard, okay. Good hustle. That's the first one they called an incomplete pass, and I thought it was a fumble.
Fumbles recovered at the Red Raider 40, first down and 10 for London.
You know, Billy looks a little small out there, but he's 6'3", 220 sophomore, so he's got some size to him.
I can still take him.
Good job of holding on to the football, or getting down on top of that ball. Okay, Gary.
Boy, that kind of choked you up, didn't it? I knew something would shut you up. Okay.
Dickenback at quarterback.
And took that ball with one hand. He's getting a little fancy out there.
Hey, that's 7 yards, Gary.
7 yards, but did you see how he received the ball? That was kind of scary there.
Got a lot of pressure on your center. When you know that quarterback's running right up behind you, you got to get the ball back there, get your head up, and throw your block, and drive your man. So
Dickens did a good job of catching the ball from the center. So it's 2nd and 3. I'd like to see London score here. It'd be a big plus. Round it out.
yeah, London looks a little confused here. Going to go through the signals again.
I see their players watching the coach pretty close. I wonder if they can figure out what the signals are.
Inside hand. Oh, that's Dicken around the right-hand side.
Wide.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
He's going to be brought down.
Matt
A
DeLong.
loss of 2.
Josh Dickens.
Matt DeLong stood him up nice.
Right in by Matt DeLong.
It just goes back to what I was saying earlier at halftime that I don't know what's going on with Edley, but it doesn't seem like he's making his blocks tonight. And I'm sure you can probably hear it. The coaches up here, they're really laying into some of these kids.
88's down here. 88's down here.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at some of the keys for the game as far as the London coaches are concerned, and they've been really concerned with 79 Joe Studline all night. They've been trying to work away from him as much as they can, but you know what? I haven't seen him out there nearly as much. He may have been hurt.
We got a timeout. London. Was that the same quarterback that they had in the first half that's made those 2 fumbles? Because he was looking really good.
Yeah.
But if I remember correct, when they played against us, he had just got the starting job. He played against us the last time. He ought to be a senior.
Yeah, he's a senior now. He started as a sophomore, and last year as a junior, he started against London, and he lost his job after that. So, but he's looking pretty impressive tonight, except for just a few miscues there.
And he's gone both ways, too.
60 to 0.
I see him out there on defense.
The Brown Jug Restaurant in Delaware.
The Brown Jug Restaurant in Delaware. Brown Jug's about a week away, isn't it? Little Brown Jug, a horse race?
Little Brown Jug will be coming up about third week in September at the Delaware County Fair.
Do you go to that? Promote your paint?
Actually, Gary, you probably won't believe this, but I used to sell concessions.
Oh, I believe it.
Walking around the track selling popcorn and hot dogs all week long at the Delaware County Fair.
No wonder you want to go back and get them free hot dogs. Here we go, 3rd and 6. And London's on the...
That's Dickin rolling to his left. He's looking for Gillespie.
Good looking.
Nice catch.
Hang on to the ball. First down. Good look in. Come back for the ball. Number 23, Gillespie.
Tell you what, I'm really impressed with Kyle Gillespie coming back to the football. He really, very textbook. I mean, he may not be the quickest runner that London has, but he gets out there, he finds his position. When that ball's coming his way, he gets back to it and makes the catch.
You just lost me. I can't understand why you're so impressed with him coming back when that's the pass route. That's how we train him. That's how we work it. Come back for the ball.
Well, Big Walnut's in his zone defense here. And
Throw it, pitch it, go!
Catch it. Coach is hollering pitch it. I'm hollering catch it because there had about 4 defensive linemen, defensive people coming right at him.
Well, London had 3 receivers on that side, but they go downfield to block. Nobody's coming back in to cut that linebacker out. That's coming out there, and you know, Dickin tried to put a fake on him. He didn't go for the fake. He went straight for DiFilippo and got the tackle.
There was more than that linebacker coming. There was about three red shirts in on that one.
Second down 15.
So we got a 2nd and 15. Down to 6:37 mark. 24-7 is the score. We are in the 3rd quarter. London and Big Walnuts.
Listen to the coaches. Oh my goodness!
Oh, they sniffed that one out before it even happened. So we're in a punting situation now. I can't even give you tackles on that because there was 4 people in on it.
It's like 65 Kevin Decker on that tackle. I think Dickin might have audibleized that. The coaches up here in the box were yelling for a hook pass to 23 Gillespie on the bottom of your screen. So it's 3rd and 16 now. So Raiders need a big play here. 5:50 now to go in the 3rd quarter.
We've been doing a little bit of ball control. I don't know how much time we've had, but it seems like we've had it more this quarter than they have.
They're real soft on the bottom of your screen here on Gillespie. Maybe that's what London's coaches are trying to look for, is that advantage. Cornerback's 15 yards off the ball.
Now they're rolling right with him.
And Gillespie runs a deep pass. Oh, that's Alcott.
He can't get to it.
Pass downfield intended for wide receiver Josh
Alcott. He just couldn't get to it. They had enough air hang time on it. And that's a very misdirection play where you got one receiver coming out and another and shooting around behind him.
Well, I think Alcott done a little bit of a delay there. He kind of waited and then all at once acted like he wasn't involved. It looked like it was going to Gillespie, and then he just took off on a dead sprint toward the pylon in the corner.
Brings up 4th and 16. So Myers, he back to punt. He does all the kicking and stuff now, all the punting and the kickoffs, extra points. Oh, he gets a good spiral. Not a tight one, but it was a spiral.
That's Charlie Smith. Look out, folks.
And Charlie's running wide. Got a hit in the back. Good call. And that was just so close to being, because it almost missed him. That's kind of a dumb block, you know? How can you not see that you're going to hit somebody in the back on a block like that?
Well, that's the backup quarterback out there playing special teams, and I think he knows he was wrong. He just he knows
he's not going near the coach either.
No, I think I'd go straight for the water bottle, Gary.
That's where he's headed. So here we go. Big Walnut will take over 1st and 10 after we mark off the penalty. Supersize has got the ball now. He'll be marking off the penalty. Marked off about 9 yards.
Clipping penalty against the Eagles takes the ball back inside their own 10-yard.
They called it a clipping penalty.
10.
Oh, yeah.
1st
1st and 10. London's still not ready. We're in position now.
There's Smith coming up the middle. Somebody's riding him.
Who is riding him?
Somebody's riding him.
Gillespie?
Number 2, Charlie Smith.
No, maybe DeFilippo is riding him. Or Billy Gossard in there.
Billy Gossard got a free ride for about 5 yards. And that makes it 2nd and 4. Smith adds another 6 yards onto his total.
They got him listed at 6 foot 185. I'd say he's a little heavier than that. He seems to very strong. Hobson Brockman to Smith. Smith's got room.
Smith's got wheels.
Oh,
Not only does he have room, he's got wheels.
Oh, he just leveled somebody out there.
Number 3, that's Roby. Aaron Roby got leveled on that play. But he was able to contain and make the tackle after a first down.
Once again, we see the Raiders, or the Golden Eagles, taking advantage of Charlie Smith's speed to the wide side of the field.
So it's 1st and 10. The ball's on about the 28-yard line, looks like. And Smith up the middle.
Number 2, Charlie Smith on the carry.
Short of a first down.
35.
It looks like London's got some fresh faces in there on defense. I see Brandon Edley's been taken out. Denon's going in now for Ty Blake. He adds a lot of beef to that inside. Ty Blake, for a sophomore, he's been holding his ground in there pretty good. He's not all that physically big.
This team is mostly made up of sophomores. So, time these kids are senior, if they stick with it.
O'Farrell's faking the blitz.
Nothing doing. And we got a big pile up there. Charlie Smith was your ball carrier. Tackler was number 50. 55?
Derek Wallace. Well, 50's Derek Wallace.
55, I think.
That's O'Farrell. He was blitzing from the middle linebacker position. He seemed to know what was going on there, or at least he was gambling. As soon as they handed it off, he was right there. So big 3rd and 1 play here for the Golden Eagles.
Their announcers give that tackle to Matt Russell, so he must have been in there on the, because there was a pile of them there and I couldn't see where he was at. It's 3rd and 1, so they're going to come right up the middle.
That's Circle, number 11. He's got the first down.
Slid off the tackle. Got the first down.
Well, Circle's a bigger runner. They got him at 6'2", 185. So he brings some beef to the table there.
How about chicken? Chicken. Yeah, chicken sandwich. Didn't never make it to the table. And it's Keith Smith intercepts the chicken sandwich on the 2-yard line. Okay. He's about good as chicken wings, ain't he?
First down and 2.
Chicken wings knows who I'm talking about, too. But anyway, it's 1st and 10. And the score is still 24-7. London's contained so far.
Ooh.
Finally, DeFilippo. He comes in and makes the tackle from behind.
That's Brad Roden, the sophomore, running there for the Golden Eagles.
Who's hurt?
Looks like Matt Russell. Or is it Annenberg? Yeah, it's Annenberg. There's Jill Travern right out there helping out. So.
Yeah, get a good shot of Jill. She's doing her job. Whatever it is, she's not letting him move that shoulder, move that arm. Dr. Starr right there with her. Dr. Starr's been active with this team for many years too. 2nd and 2. 24-7 so far. Knock on wood. They've been quiet. Get him back there. Good job. Oh, hang on. Myers in on that, and he brought closing for a loss. Myers played smart. He got material and he hung on. And I think they're both about the same size, so.
Well, nice detection from Myers to notice it was definitely a running play. A strong safety. He almost had to lay back for a second just in case it would roll out pass. Once he recognized the run, he stepped up real good. So.
You think it's possible that he's reading the tackle?
I never know. Single coverage out here by the Raiders. And Brockman.
Nothing doing.
Tell you what, they've been trying to throw that tight end pass to Wes Potts all night. He's not their big big tight end. They've got the other tight end, Meek, that they haven't used at all tonight.
Here comes our punting team. So London's defense is holding up pretty good. We're down to 2:22 to go in the third quarter, and they haven't scored, so that's a good plus. Now we just got to control this punt.
Alcott and Myers back deep for the Raiders. Smith
so
on the
far,
punt.
I'd say we're looking.
Come to the left. Come to the left.
Alcott slipping through.
Yeah, he's sneaky little devil.
He got almost 15 yards there. Looks like a lot of trash out on the field right there where that play just went on.
Officials didn't see that hold because there was a hold big time now, wasn't it?
Like they said, you go ahead and hold him.
And, yeah, if they don't call it, hold it.
He held him in close to the body, but man, you can sit big time there.
It's not a hold if it ain't called.
On that
Three receivers at the bottom of the screen for the Raiders. Looks like they send DeFilippo in motion. That's 4 this way. That's a pass to DeFilippo.
Yep. He's a big, strong kid, buddy. He's up. He picked up. We're up to about 8 yards on that.
Brought down near the 43 by Wolf and Shaner. Gain on the play brings up 2nd down and 3 for the Red Raiders.
Got a special guest coming into the...
I think he's going to come up. I invited him up, so we'll see what happens. We'll wait till he gets you. Pick him up. Carl, he's right down in front of you. Zach Dahmar, he led the team to an undefeated season his senior year. So I'd like to have him come up for a few minutes. He can stay if he wants. Ooh, Dick was ate up, man. He was hit high and hit low. Those tackles hurt you. He's one of your friends. That's part of that chicken. Keep your chicken to yourself. Yeah, we got one of our friends here, Zach Dahmar. Come on, step right in here, Zach. Glad to have you.
How you doing, Gary?
What are you doing now?
I'm up at Kenyon College playing football.
Are you really?
Backup quarterback. So.
You remember this team here, don't you?
Sure do.
Yeah, I heard that. This is the year that you guys went undefeated against that team, I think. You didn't play them that year?
No, we didn't play Big Walnut.
You sure?
Played them as freshmen.
Okay. Well,
Your grandson had a big run against them.
Okay, up here.
Yeah, up here in this field.
Right. Ooh, good play. Well,
He's not running a post. He's
nice throw by Dick.
we got a few kids. You guys go ahead and step. Let you guys take over. Huh? Go ahead, you guys take over. Go ahead. You're doing fine. I'm just glad to have you up here, Zach. I haven't seen you for a while. And I was just curious as what you're doing now, but like you just told me, what do you think about what you're seeing? It's a different offense than what you're used to seeing from London.
Sure looks like some growing pains, obviously, and especially with the no huddle and the starters being out.
And then
Big Walnut's that undefeated team from last year, so they're hanging in them, hanging with them. Maybe if they get a score here, get back in it.
Oh, he's down, isn't he?
Good punt. And they're going to call him down on the 2-yard, on the about the 32, 33-yard line, somewhere around in that area. They took their yard markers out. We don't have anything from the 30 to half field.
It's different. NFL, you can get out and punt, not in high school.
This kind of brings back old memories for you, don't it? I remember when you guys were up here, and you said, like you said, Jaron got that long touchdown the first play of the game. You guys end up going back and forwards the whole game.
Yeah. It's a fun game up here.
Finally pulled it out. Yeah. Yeah, so you understand. I thought it'd be nice to have you come up. Carl picked you up down front. So appreciate you coming up. Steve, you know Steve? Steve Smith? Keith, I'm sorry. There is who is Steve? I've called him Steve more than once. Back to the field.
There goes Smith again.
Ain't a whole lot you can do with Smith. He's so quick, so fast.
His brother's a real good basketball player.
Yeah.
Christian. This is pretty close to my school up here. We're only 25 miles down the road, just outside Mount Vernon.
Got a chance to run over and check him out, huh?
Yeah.
I'm glad you did.
I'll probably see a few more games this year.
I tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to step out of the way. I'm going to let you and Keith take over for a while. Let's go ahead. I'm serious. Go ahead.
I think Gary wants to take a break. You say you're...
I'll make a fool of myself. Good thing I can't get the game up on my TV.
Just don't cut on the London boys.
So you say you are playing college football at Mount Vernon Nazarene?
No, Kenyon College.
Kenyon, I'm sorry.
second string QB right now. Hey, stop Smith. Fine.
And what have you found the biggest difference between college football and high school football?
Speed.
Speed.
That's what everyone says. Like, you don't even realize the speed difference here till you come back. Like in college, I just after practicing college and being college games so much, you come back here, the game looks so much slower. Even though it's the same game I played 2 years ago, it's a whole new world. And the size of guys is bigger, of course. And even at the Division III level, the foot speed, as far as like straight ahead time, isn't that much different. It's side to side, the quickness of the game, just how fast things happen.
Oh, it's like that brings in
this quarter here. I could get in for 1 second. In the quarter, and they did not score this quarter, which is a big plus for London. The score is 24-7 as they change coach. Carl gets the scoreboard there. And you did mention speed, which you really didn't know too much about, did you?
No, I handed off to some guys that could run.
I had to say that, man.
I'm not going to deny that. Too many cheeseburgers at McDonald's. I could throw it to
good
him.
now. Trim down.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I threw it to some guys that could run. That's the idea.
Yeah, there you go. You was a smart one. Let them do the running. You sit back and eat cheeseburgers and throw it to them. There you go.
I did buy them cheeseburgers at the end of the year, though. So.
It ain't bad. It's Keith, though. Keith got down and bummed him out of a sandwich and told him he dropped it. And then went back, got 2 free hot dogs.
like a little kid dropping an ice cream cone. Well, we got through that quarter unscathed. Same scores at the end of the first half, so.
Yeah, that's great.
We got to look to get back in it. Get a score here, you never know. It's only 17 points.
Well, last week it was really bad, and I looked for them to, I made a statement that give them 8 quarters, and you'll see a pretty decent ball club out here.
It's hard to install an offense like that.
Yeah, and it's a new offense. It's something that entirely new, and it takes a lot of athletes. You had the athletes with your group that probably could have run this offense. But you had some big boys up front there holding them tackles from coming in and getting you.
That's the key. That's Dickens been running for his life quite a few times, and that's hard on any quarterback to do it, even one that can move like he can.
It's like Big Walnut's going with their same starting backfield. Smith and Tail, circle at the fullback. Brockman at quarterback. Pitch to Smith.
Smith's looking for a runner, man. He's elusive.
He got big number 11 right out there in front of him. Give him an escort down the field.
Good crackback block on the receiver on the outside linebacker. It got him the corner, too.
Brought down by Billy Gosser. Matt Russell.
Big Walnut was the #1 seed last year in Division III Central District, Central Region. Got upset by Van Wert, who was the eventual state runners-up. So
we was trying to figure that out on the way up there. We thought it was Bell Fountain.
Well, they weren't undefeated, if I say it. They're 9-1, lost to Marysville.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of returning people.
He's back on it.
That's the third promo tonight. Is that same quarterback? Let's see.
That's Brockman still in there.
Brockman's still in there.
Well, they lost a lot of linemen off last year's team. Is the big difference.
I was watching a pro quarterback the other night, and he opens his hand completely. The ball comes up, and then he comes up with the bottom hand and grabs the ball. And they try to get him across his thumbs to see if it can keep a hand there, and he won't do it.
I think that was Scott Mitchell for the Bengals. Now, is that a pro quarterback?
No, this was Scott Mitchell's white. This guy was the man of color.
Oh. That's
there
Charlie
goes Smith, and he's looking for payday.
Oh, my
goodness. He's in without untouched.
Touchdown, number 2, Charlie Smith.
That's about his 3rd touchdown for tonight.
Yeah, it obviously puts him well over 200 yards. He had about 180 in the first half. So
that brings it up to 37, pending the extra point. And this Smith is, I'm not sure he got much better than that one we were running. If we had to run him back last week, we had to go against that guy. That dude could actually, I mean, he carried people.
Well, Weed for his 11th consecutive point.
12. You said 11 last time.
Got it.
And there we go. 31-7 is the score. And we're looking at 10:50 to go in the 4th quarter. Score 31-7. As Carl picks up a little bit of everything. Carl, without Carl, you folks would be lost. So I say it once again. If you see him, let him know you love him. You don't know about this, but Carl was he's from Arlington. and he had his 50th birthday, and he went back and had a big surprise birthday party for him.
Oh, that's neat.
They gave him the key to the city and proclaimed it and Carl King Day. Seriously.
Oh,
Yeah, it was. I put it on TV
congratulations,
too.
Carl.
Yeah. Proclaimed Carl King Day. And he act like, that ain't no big deal. I said, I want to throw something at him.
Look at the score, 24 points. That's still 3 possessions. Weirder things have happened, but Big Walnut's got all the momentum, and the offense hasn't done much tonight. But
Well, like,
you never know.
I think it's a plus right now because we held them scoreless in the third quarter, and that's a plus. And we scored our first touchdown of the season in the second quarter, so we've come a long way from last week.
You got a chance to see Lakewood play this year yet? They're all coming on our schedule.
And I've seen them in a scrimmage. They're not what they were last year. They lost an awful lot of kids. They beat Heath last week, which Heath almost made the playoffs last year.
Isn't that where one of our coaches is?
Heath, yeah. Mark Collier's head coach
Collier, yeah.
Heath now.
We've been getting some good returns on the kickoffs. That was Myers that time. He returns, picks up around about 15, 20-yard kickoff return that time.
Oh, go ahead, Zach.
Said as far as Lakewood is concerned, they're a lot like London. They lost an awful lot of kids. They're real young. And so it'll be a lot of growing pains for them, too. I mean, expect them to come on and have basically the same type of season. Little bumps early and getting better towards the end of it.
Yeah, we're looking at, like you said, growing pains. I think we only returned 3 starters this year.
It's like Annenberg's back in at the running back position. Edley's in tight at tight end. Pattern out to the right. Dickens throwing deep from
And
Myers.
there's the Zaubermeyer pass. And Myers can't get up high enough to get it.
You can tell that's not a Dobmeyer pass because it ended up on the ground.
You hear that? No, you didn't have.
Like a Dobmeyer.
Yeah, it just we didn't have Wheeler out there to go up and get it.
Whatever you say, Gary.
You know I'm going to cut on you.
Dobmeyer passes end up in people's hands.
He didn't say which team.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We had a few years at that. But back to this game. Gotta have some fun.
Grandpa put up.
There you go. There you go. Gotta have some fun, man.
That looks like D. Filippo's now checked in at running back for London.
Yeah,
He's had a couple nice runs.
He's got to start going downfield. Calhoun does, if it had any chance of winning.
We didn't have anybody. Number 3, that's Roby. He did not do anything with that defender that time.
Trying to run that little slip screen. If you don't get that first guy, there's no play.
You got some pretty good receivers this year?
Well, we're real thin up there. We'll be decent. We only have like 40 guys on roster.
Okay.
We'll be pretty good if we get up to a good start.
They give you a chance playing defense? No?
I'm the only backup quarterback, so I basically can't do anything but be that because they can't afford me or the other guy to get hurt.
So you got the clipboard and the baseball cap, right?
Well, hopefully I'll at least have that rather than stand there. I just got to be ready just in case something happens.
Hit the flag! Gosh!
Got to get rid of that on 3rd down.
Yeah. I think he was looking at nothing but defenders that side there, and he did that last week and threw it right into a defender's hand. Defender caught the ball and tight roped and then went out of bounds.
That's where you pick a cheerleader on the other team's sidelines and throw it to her. Get back and
I'm sure he'll be hearing that, and that's a good, we'll take all the tips we can get, you know what I'm saying?
That's going to bring up...
Easier said from up
So
here.
you was watching the cheerleaders while he's watching doing the game, huh?
Well, not really.
Oh, well, just what you just said. Pick a cheerleader and throw it to her. Did you have a favorite?
Coaches?
Did you have a favorite?
I said the other teams here. I don't know.
Brings up 4th and 20 for the Raiders. Myers back to punt. It's a low line drive. Charlie Smith.
It's a driver. Oh, Charlie scooped it up good. Charlie's still on his feet, and he's got open room.
Trying to get around.
He'll outrun DiFilippo.
Got one man to beat.
He's got the sideline. He'll cut back against the grain. Bingo. And number
Dickens
10,
got him, but Dickens hurt.
He looks hurt. That's that hand, too. He had that hand busted last week on a similar play. If you remember, he laid down.
give a lot of credit there to Josh Dickon. He could have easily given up on that play. And
Josh is a fighter. He won't give up on any play.
yeah, he didn't there.
He had a mild concussion last week, and they put him, and he's still playing. I don't think he realized what he had. He was just cleared, from my information I got, he was just cleared today to play this week. And if you've seen his hand last week, I'm sure you had a few of them, Zach, where his hand looked like it was that big, swollen up.
It's got to be a sort of a shock to him playing off a playoff team and a team that almost made it to a team where he's basically the only veteran there.
Yeah, you're right.
With a bunch of young guys, and I remember my senior year, he was a young guy with a bunch of seniors, so it's got to be difficult for him.
That's very well put, because that is difficult for a situation like that. What we got here? Big penalty? Okay, I'm up there running my mouth and not seeing what's going on. What's the matter with you, Keith? I'm going to have to call you Steve now.
That's a clip from the spot of the foul, so that's a big penalty there for the Eagles.
First and 10 for the Eagles.
First and 10 for the Eagles.
That's the backup tailback, number 29, Brad Roden on that run.
You got some good eyes. You see him spot that for me?
There's a lot of London defenders are catching the Big Walnut blockers instead of taking them on, and that's why Smith and the others have been getting so much push. Defenders got to stop, get off the ball and knock the blockers back and get some penetration. They haven't been doing that much tonight. Smith,
seemed like they had a good third quarter, but things have done turned on them now.
Smith looks like he's probably done for the night, though.
Yeah, they got a lot of fresh jerseys in there for the Eagles.
And it doesn't make sense to leave Smith in there and get him a possible chance of getting hurt.
Look at Roden
when you've got the game run.
You've got to get outside contained, and that's about the 30th time tonight they've run that sweep, and there's been no one there. At least make them cut back into your linebackers.
That's been one of the big things we've talked about up here tonight, that there's nobody turning them in.
Yeah, you can't let that happen.
And once they get outside of you, then it's just a matter of how much yards they can run.
Smith has been so much faster than everybody else.
Right.
Now next week, London will have a completely different type of runner with 260-pound Matt Paul from Northeastern. They're just going to.
He's a monster.
He is a big boy. Yes.
They run that T, try to pound it.
They got two, and they're running two quarterbacks.
Defense.
And Coach said he will not give up on the two quarterbacks.
Defense got to be resilient when you play a team like that, because they're going to be on the field a lot.
Yeah.
You just can't give up a big play to them.
There's a quick hitter there.
That's a backup fullback.
Richardson, ball carrier that time. He picks up pretty close to a first down. Gets across the 50-yard line. We are in the fourth quarter. We have a score of 31-7. And we're down at 7:36. So I think overall, you know, knowing what we saw last week, this team has not done that bad. And we got, I think, 3 starters out. So this team hasn't done that bad.
But right now is the time when you got to have some pride. London's got a lot of their starters in. Big Walnut's got in a lot of their backups. You can't let them drive down the field on you. It's hard to play when you're getting beat like this, but you just got to suck it up and make it respectable.
Roden, I wonder if he's in relation to Monty. Darren Sanders, that's your tackler that time? Number 16.
I was just looking at some of the fresh jerseys out there for the Raiders.
Go ahead
He's playing this near side corner. Oh, number 16, Darren Sanders in the ball game for the Raiders.
It's nice to give them some play, let them hear their name.
Looks like we got Derek Wallace, seems to be a little shaken up here.
Do we have any more new players out there, Keith? They're pretty good at spotting.
The only clean jersey I see.
They all
comes Edley back in. Edley's been sitting out on the sidelines a little bit. I don't know if he got a little shook up there. Well, Zach, I've been seeing you on JJ's Huddle website, occasionally making a post now and then about different things.
I should have picked a more ambiguous name, but everybody knows who I am now. Everyone from Lakewood and London both know who I am. So I can't say too much.
You were number 1 in your class, weren't you?
I was 2.
2, okay, because I heard you throw out that ambiguous word there and it kind of scared me.
It's a Kenyan word.
You're good, man. You're good. That's why I called you up here.
Do we have a mother out on the field?
Officials measured that, and it was about a yard of crooked eyesight tonight or something.
We go back a long ways. You're one of the original Puds. Yes.
Freshman.
Yeah, we did see that. We were discussing an odd person out there on the halftime with the officials, and I made a comment, look like he's got a money bag hanging on him. But Carl and them said I was blind. It was just a coat hanging around him. We thought maybe he's paying off the officials.
The original Puds from freshman basketball.
Right. I'd like to see them all stay together all the way through.
3rd and 1.
In football, for the most part.
Yeah,
Andy's got it.
You had a lot of good players on that freshman basketball team, and ended up with quite a few of them didn't stick with us.
Oh, it's sad to see that too.
Russell's having a problem with his. Looks like he might be holding his knee.
So you probably got a cramp.
I think that's what it is. No, it's not. He's holding it. What is he holding?
Hamstring.
Hamstring.
Those hurt.
By how he's walking.
They're going to wait till.
Russell doesn't want to come out though, but he has to since the officials stopped the play.
Right. Seems like a little confusion on London's sideline as to who's backing him up. They're going to send in number 21, Jerry Walters, a sophomore.
Now these young guys have to step up because some guy may get hurt at some point. You got to be ready to play. You can't be shell-shocked and get in there on a Friday.
Walter's a freshman.
A sophomore.
I know that a lot of people are looking for big things out of Walters. He just ran over people in the junior high ranks.
Oh, at the junior high level, he was a great runner. And,
so we're looking for him to step up. We got some athletes coming. It's just, like you said, the growing pains waiting for them to get to the place where they will be effective.
It's always that shot.
What was that word you used? Well, I want to use it every now and then.
Ambiguous?
Ambiguous, yeah. I want to use that.
Write that down.
Write that down, Keith.
okay.
Talking about young people getting experience, I remember my first varsity game, other than mop-up time, was against Worthington Kilbourne. They were one of the best teams in the state of Ohio. That was a shell shocker. We lost by 70 points to them.
That was a game that
Me and
Jaron had 200 and some yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, that was Hillsborough. That was Kilbourne. Was
both games. Yeah, Kilbourne too.
Kilbourne too.
Kilbourne was the one I ran the option and pitched it to him, and he walked in the end zone off of my work.
Very good.
You can go get the film.
I'm sure he'll hear that. I'll make sure he watches.
And if you watch it, he gets tackled by the goal line, but he sort of falls in. But he did score, so it was all good.
Well, those first 2 games, he had over 400 and some yards and 4 touchdowns. And we got a rider.
All I remember about Kilbourne is they had about a 265-pound middle linebacker. I think his name was Stocksdale, maybe?
Stockwell, defensive lineman. He's
yeah.
good.
I think at that time he was a sophomore. He was young and he was lining up at linebacker, it seemed like.
When we scheduled them, they were just average, and we were a really good Division III team. And then when we played them, they were really good, and we were in our down years. And it just was ugly.
You had quite a few of those too, didn't you?
For 2 years.
They came back 10-0.
I sure did.
When we're good, we
when
can
the chips were down, you guys got it.
We can compete with those guys, and we're good. We just played them in a down cycle. Little movement.
Big Walnut's right-hand side of the line jump there.
We're down to 4:21 in the contest, and the score of 31-7.
Much more respectable this week.
Yeah, London got their first touchdown in the second quarter, and the third quarter they held Big Walnut scoreless. So we got to say there's some good things have come out of this.
Still a far cry from the 45 points a game 2 years ago and the probably 30 points a game last year. I mean, we had all those explosive skill players.
Andy Stein, a backup quarterback, throws.
Able to pick it up and
they missed a tackle.
Brad Roden picks up the fumble.
Brad Roden
Carries down near the 33.
Well, I still see a lot of starters on the offensive line for Big Walnut, but their backfield's pretty much
I got to give the reserves a plug. They played last Saturday, and I think they won something like 31 or 32 to nothing.
Oh.
Saturday, after coming off the varsity loss down at Tecumseh. This is the first year I think we played Tecumseh.
Yeah, we played
they got a new field, looks just like ours. And by the way, Coach Carl, those bleachers they got more room than we got. They're the same height, but they're wider. They got 2 more sections than what we've got.
It's like fullback dive.
Nice run.
Like 31 Matt Russell back in there making a tackle for the Raiders.
But the schedule's gotten a lot tougher this year, losing Plains, Alder, and West Jeff, picking up Miami Trace and Whitehall.
We've picked up a schedule where we may not get a win. It's going to be hard to get a win with the schedule.
There's no really soft
new
teams
players,
on it.
with new players like this.
Probably the softest teams we got to go on the road to, Washington Courthouse and Lakewood. So we got Utica at home. Bexley's, yeah, they got a great sophomore class.
They usually give us a run. They always have a speedster.
Washington Courthouse, it won't be bad there. They whooped Bloomington last week.
We got 17 starters back last year.
Yeah, 17 starters Courthouse got from last year. So
Like I
it's
said,
going to be, like you say, growing pains is. But I look for after tonight's game, I look for to see a totally different squad out
I
there.
think looking at games that they can reasonably expect to win, Lakewood's definitely one of them. Probably Northeastern's one of them. Bexley's one of them. Whitehall might be one of them, but Miami Trace will be very, very good again. Licking Valley will be very good again.
Oh, yeah.
I was told that Trace was just pretty close to being in Division 4. You heard anything like
They're
that?
two.
That's what he's just telling me.
Yeah, they're two.
Yeah.
The biggest school. The Washington Courthouse should be in this division of the BAC, but they won't play with Trace.
And they won't play in the big division either, or they won't be in our. That's their thing. They will not be in the big division.
Because they will not play Trace.
They will not be in our league.
It's like they're actually bigger than Licking Valley. The Licking Valley's in the big side, but Licking Valley wants to be with Lakewood, so it works
There's
out.
Vandenberg. He hasn't given up tonight. He's still playing hard.
He picks up maybe 2 or 3 yards on that play. Vandenberg has taken up the slack pretty much where Brock is absent.
Too many people standing around, though. Go downfield, get a block. Vandenberg's running hard, Dickens running hard, whoever's got the ball's running hard, but looks like the rest of the team's just sort of playing for 2 seconds and stopping. You got to play for the whole whistle. Go get a block downfield, spring it for a touchdown.
Tell it like it is.
This is pretty much all second team performers right here for Big Walnut. So, you know, even if you score against the second team, that's still something positive you can build on for next week.
It's still a matter of pride right now.
We look for Edley.
I've been looking for that pass all night. Look, he's going to lose the ball.
They said in the first quarter down the sidelines they had that inside all night. It's about the first time they've thrown it.
I've been calling for that for both games, yeah.
My favorite routes was that little slant.
Who was your tight end your senior year?
Tyree.
Oh, he was.
Of course,
Well, I reckon, yeah.
Tyree catches the ball. Safety's in trouble.
Run down by Matt DeLong. First down at 10.
But even if you look here on the outside, number 3, he is way off the
Yeah, they've been
receiver.
playing very soft on
If you run a double slant right here, you'd have one of those open. Just by
they're
you'd have
just-
them outnumbered, and
Oh,
that
my
should have been
goodness.
picked.
And he threw to the wrong receiver.
Yeah, 'cause
If you slant Edley,
Pass it to
then 40's got to either go with him or 23's wide open.
Well, I think that time maybe the quarterback didn't read that because Edley cut in.
And nobody went with him.
They ran a stop route on both of them, and 40 stepped up in front of the receiver.
Yeah. Looks like flex aces from the Raiders.
1:23 left to go in the fourth quarter here.
Yeah, we still got a score of 31-7,
Really quick.
There it is. Oh,
and threw it behind him.
he was open too as a touchdown if he got it.
pass downfield intended for number 20.
I don't know, maybe I can coach Gary.
Hey,
I say throw a slant.
I
here
was
comes the
thinking,
slant.
didn't you coach when you were here
The
in
defensive
London?
coverage for
I
Big
caught
Walnut.
You
plays.
were the coach on the field,
I
weren't you?
caught a bunch of plays from the line.
I knew you did.
90% of them is what you told us.
5% of the run plays I probably call it second half of the year. They'd call the formation and say, check with me, and we'd call it at the line. We'd run where they were open. Which isn't a bad idea.
Being second in your class, I knew you had
Run to
something
the
going
bubble.
for you.
Run to the bubble.
Got Gillespie on top of your screen, Myers on the bottom. They haven't thrown to Myers much lately. Alcott's open.
Now
he
catch
dropped
the ball. He was doing a little dance out there. The ball just went right through his hands.
Heard footsteps on that.
He's not very big. He looks like he ought to be in junior high.
Cody Wolf, first
So
defensive
bring up 4th and 10 for the Raiders. I think they'll probably just go for it.
You can just tell by watching Dickin that the pressure's sort of getting to him. He's no longer setting his feet. He's got a real good arm, but his mechanics have sort of been sloppy because he's been running for his life a lot.
Yeah.
And he could be tired.
Yeah, and that as a quarterback,
can set in because he's going. I don't think he went both ways that much tonight, but he has been going both ways.
just know as a quarterback, if you're thinking you're going to get hit when you throw it every time, your footwork's not going to be very good.
There's Myers.
There he set himself and he made a good throw.
And he had a good receiver on the other end because Myers has got, he will go in there and get the ball.
You notice right there, he planted and squared his shoulders right instead of throwing with the shoulders to the sidelines.
Did Myers play with you?
He kicked.
Okay.
He was a freshman.
It's very hard to throw the ball across your body when you're moving. Kosar was able to do it, and there's the illegal formation for London.
And Headley makes the catch and hangs on to it.
Not have 7 on the line.
That's going to come back because the guys up top are moving. It's either illegal motion or illegal formation.
Pass complete to Ackley.
I didn't see the flag.
I didn't see it. I didn't see the guy moving. But
One of the receivers tried to reset himself right as the ball is being snapped, and you can't do that in American rules football arena or Canada. It's a good play.
Well, Canada, they have a 55-yard line. I know you remember me saying that.
There's no excuse for that. Get lined up. If there's no huddle, get out there and get set. Illegal procedure, not enough guys on the ball. I'd like to see him get a score here in the next 15
That'd really be neat. 51 seconds, and we still have a score of 31-7.
They're still out there trying. Flex aces again.
First down at 15.
What that is, flex aces.
going to Myers.
Oh, man, down on one knee, so he's down. You're laying a big word on me again, flex aces.
Well, flex ace is just two receivers on the same side. Flex means they're both as receivers and not tight ends.
On the stop for the Eagles.
It's that balanced formation that they're in. You see the two wide guys and two inside guys, that's aces.
Looking for Edley. Gillespie. He got it.
You got to get up the line. Time's running out.
Yep, we're down to 15 seconds.
Pass complete.
That's probably going to do it if they don't call timeout.
Looks like they're not going to call timeout. We'd be lucky if we get a playoff. We're down to 5 seconds.
Only one's even looking at the clock.
And they're not going to get it off.
And they're not going to get off. And that ends the ball game with a score of 31-7.
Official indicates the end of tonight's game.
And I think London looked a lot better.
31.
Even though they got beat that big a score, they looked like, I think this is better than they did last week. So I think we got stuff to look forward to. I appreciate you folks. Don't get down on these kids. Give them a chance. Get behind them. And let's get out to the game and check them out because that support means a whole lot. You got a bunch of support. It helps wins.
You got to realize who they play. This Big Walnut will probably make the playoffs. Tecumseh is first and second in their league every year.
So, anyway, I really appreciate you coming up, Zach.
Thanks for asking.
And good luck to you the rest of the year, pal. Maybe we'll see you again sometime.
Try to get back a few more games. You know what my schedule is, so go Lords and go Raiders.
Okay, man. Thanks a lot. Are we too tight right here? Oh, we're back. Yeah. But anyway, just like I say, we win this game. We scored 31-7. London did come back, play a very good second half. They went third quarter. Big Walnut wasn't able to score. Like I said last week, I'm giving his team 8 quarters, and I'm looking for good things out of them. So stick around, folks. Don't go away because this team is going to give you what you want. But we got to get behind these kids. So I appreciate you, and we want you out to the next game, which is home against Northeastern next Friday night. And signing off, this is Gary McNeil.
And this is Keith Smith.
Along with Carl King saying good night, see you, but I wouldn't want to be you. Adios. And I forgot my sunglasses, so I'm not cool. Good night.